Hi, I'm Joe Markley, State Senator from Southington. I'm up here at the state capitol. It's about 10 o'clock Tuesday evening. We just finished a session of the Senate, and I thought I'd take a moment to try to explain to you a little more what this job is like in a very concrete way, something a little different from some of the things I've said to you on previous tapes. I was off this weekend talking to some people, and I happened to have with me a copy of the Senate calendar. And I had the idea of showing them the calendar to try to help them explain the difficulties of passing informed judgment on the many issues which come before us. The calendar is a list of all the bills which are properly before the Senate on any given day. In other words, bills that have come through committee that have aged sufficiently that we can take them up. And this is a copy of today's calendar. And the calendar is simply a list of the bills. In this case, it is 60, I believe it's 69 pages, 59 pages of bills. As you can see, something like 5 or 6 bills on each page. And basically when we come in the morning, we find out which of these bills are going to be taken up. That's under the direction of the majority party, Martin Looney, who's the majority leader, and the leadership on the Democratic side, in consultation with the Republican leadership, makes that decision. But we don't necessarily know. We more or less have to be prepared to talk about any of these bills that come up. And if you think about that, if it's, let's say, 60 pages times 6 bills, we've got something like 350 bills which might be before us. To take a page at random from this calendar, we'll take calendar page 4 for today. It includes an act concerning changes to the state economic strategic plan, an act concerning pediatric autoimmune neuropsychotic disorder associated with streptococcal infections, an act concerning gasoline pump display screens, an act concerning the grace period for life insurance policies and designation of third parties to receive cancellation notices, an act concerning revisions to the banking statutes, an act concerning professional engineer licenses. Incidentally, you can see the variety of bills, and I'd say these are all bills which did not go through a committee which I serve on, so I've never seen these bills before. Now, what's my point in this? My point in this is not to make excuses. I knew what the job involved when I came back to it, of course. People sometimes say to me, "Did you read the bill?" I feel honestly like I'm lucky if I get to read the title of the bill. And to that, what that means is I'm very much dependent on my colleagues. Each of these bills has originated in a committee, and the ranking Senate member of the committee, the lead Republican on that committee, is generally the person I have to depend on to get information, to get guidance on the bill. But I have to say, it is impossible. It is simply impossible to give each of these pieces of legislation the scrutiny that I think it deserves, that I would like to give it before I vote on it. Nonetheless, there's nothing I can do but vote. You can't abstain in Connecticut. You can't vote present. You have to vote yes or no if you're in the chamber. And I have to do my best, sometimes very much on the fly, to decide what the best decision is on any given bill. Fortunately, most of them are not controversial. Fortunately, most of the things we vote on are voted on unanimously, 36 to nothing. What that does make me think is that there are many things which come to us as bills which really are simply matters of departmental procedure and which should not be a matter of state statute. And yet even that puts me in a certain quandary. If I started to vote against everything that comes before me that I don't think properly should be a matter of legislation, I'd end up voting no all by myself on a number of things which otherwise are sensible. They may not be of overwhelming importance, but they're sensible as far as it goes. I guess what my bottom line on this is, I feel that people are disappointed in the performance of their legislators. And I think part of the problem is not that the legislators aren't good enough, but that the job we're given to do is simply too big. There's too much government, so much that it's impossible for us to oversee it correctly, or oversee it the way I'd like to. I think you know my goal in this is to reduce the number of things we do here at the state level to have more of these decisions made locally, and somehow to find a way to discipline ourselves so that we don't confront a list of bills like this. I believe today we probably passed something like 50 bills in the course of the legislative session, in the course of several hours. Some of them got good discussion, some of them were just introduced and put on the consent calendar. I don't know that that's a disaster for the state, but I'd sleep better if we had more time to deliberate. So that is my update on a little bit on the procedure here in the state capitol. I'm always happy to hear from you, and I will be back to you with another update. Thank you very much.